So as promised, we're going to take a look in the gear cupboard today. It's a bit of a tight squeeze in here. I'm not going to mess around. I'm going to get straight into it and dig some gear out. Need a bigger cupboard. Not going to fit every pack on the table, but here's 3. Still got 3 more packs in here. So that is the Levity 45, Talon 33, and this is one of my early Vango packs. So the Talon 22, that is my daily driver. That goes with me pretty much everywhere, so I take it to work, sometimes to the shops. But when it comes to camping and backpacking, these are the 3 that I've used the most lately. I'll start with the Archeon 30 litre. This one's a very thick material, very robust, but it's quite a heavy pack. I use that one most if I'm near any woodland, or I don't need to carry much gear. So this is the pack you've probably seen the most. This is the Osprey Exos 48. I absolutely love this pack. It is incredibly comfortable. You can get all my gear in, even for a winter camp. So this one is the older version that has the hip belt pockets. I really think Osprey should bring back that feature to their Exos packs. And this is the pack I've been using most recently. This is the Sierra Designs Flex Capacitor. What I love about this pack is you can vary the volume between 40 and 60 litres. So when you're not taking so much gear, you can cinch it down. But if you want to squeeze in some extra layers, you can just open these up, and this allows the pack to expand, giving you up to another 20 litres of volume. What I would like to get out there is that you don't need this many packs. You can just get away with one pack that you use all year round, so I've used this all year round. But that being said, it is nice to have the options, so if you want to take less gear, you can take a smaller pack. So let's have a look at some of the tents, shall we? This one's the Smoky Hut chimney tent. This is way too big for most occasions. So this one here is the Nature Hike Cloud Peak 2. This is the one I choose when I'm out camping with Joe. Gives us that little bit more room inside. So next to that I've got my Laser Photon 1 from Terra Nova. Pack size doesn't look that much different. Let me check the poles out. But when I break it down, this tent squashes down to about the size of a grapefruit and weighs only around 700 grams. So it's great when I only want to take something like a 30 litre backpack. I bought a lot of these really useful boxes, they're called. These are 33.5 litres. They're great for getting plenty of gear in, and they're a perfect fit for this shelving unit. I will drop links in the description where you can get the boxes and the shelving unit if you want. So in here, I've got more tents and tent poles. I usually keep the poles separate. So this is the pole for my Nordisk Telemark 2.2 long and wide. Again, this is a great small packed lightweight shelter. Plenty of room inside. You can get 2 people in this, and this only weighs in at just over 1 kilo. I do get asked about the condensation with this. Condensation is something that you have to live with pretty much all tents I've found. On some situations you're going to get moisture inside, especially when it's really cold outside or wet. This is just a ground sheet or footprint for the Nature Hike Vic 1. Poles for that are here. Again, this is a 1 kilo tent. This is a single skin, packs down to nothing. I really like this for a single skin tent. And then here we have my big boy, which is the Pilleberg Solo. Keep the pole separate again. It does squash down a lot smaller than this. But this one's quite hefty at about 2.4 kilos. The price on these tents are ridiculous at the moment. I've seen them for about £1,000 on eBay. I wouldn't pay that. And the great news about this box is I think I could squeeze a tarp tent Scarp one in here as well. Joe's always telling me I need more tents. So again, when it comes to tents, you do not need this many. I could get away with something like the Nature Hike, Cloud Peak 2, all year round. I would just have to be careful about the situations I would put it in. Nature Hike market this as a 4-season tent, but it definitely isn't. However, you can get away with it all year round in the UK, but just be careful if you're taking on really high winds. So I don't have as many tents as everyone makes out. I think now we're going to have a look in this box. So before I dig into this one, I'd like to thank everybody that watches the videos. Just hit the 90,000 subscriber mark, so thanks everybody. If you haven't yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. And let's see if I can get to 100,000 in the next month or two. So as you've probably gathered, I'm not incredibly organised when it comes to my gear. I don't write on the boxes what's in them. I've been down the route of listing weights for all the gear, but I found that comfort is king and ultralight is not really my forte. In this one we've got some bivvies and some sleeping pads. So a poorly wrapped up Exped Hyperlight Sin Mat. That's really warm and comfortable for its pack weight. We've got the Thermarest NeoAir X-Lite. We have the, what's it called again, Trekology UL80. Got the inflator for the Thermarest. Here's my first bivvy bag. So this is the Rab Unishelter Classic Bivvy. This one's really good because it has a zip down the side, so it makes access much easier. And then we have a bivvy that you've not seen before, which is a Sierra Designs Backcountry bivvy. So I'm really looking forward to getting out and testing this. Here's the dry sack inflator for the Exped pad. Then I've got my Rab Ridge Raider, which is not packed away in its bag. And the poles for the bivvies. Bivvy camping is definitely not for everybody, but I love it. It's the closest you're going to get to being just laid asleep in the forest floor or on a hill and being at one with nature. But they're not ideal for every situation, especially if rain's involved. I always have a few things close to hand, so a gas canister, flashlights and a pocket knife. Let's have a look at some sleeping bags, shall we? Sleeping bags take up quite a lot of space and volume in my storage system. So this one in here is my Rab Mythic Ultra down bag. This one goes down to 0 degrees. The great thing about down is it squashes down to nothing. So this will go in my 30 litre pack setup and keep me warm to around freezing. Here's a bag that I've not had a chance to use yet. So this is the Sierra Designs Cloud 20. This one's also got a unique design and it doesn't have a zip in it, so looking forward to testing this one out. I think I'm going to need to clear a bit of space. So this is the sleeping kit I use the most. In here I've got just a cheap Decathlon pillow, but it's very comfortable. Vapor barrier for my down sleeping bags. Trekology pillow. And the Alpkit Sky High 700 sleeping bag. This was my first proper sleeping bag. It was very good value for money. keeps you really warm. A great bit of kit. As you can see, it lofts up pretty high. But I have moved on to quilts. So in here I have, oh, I love these. These are my UGQ Bandit quilts. So this one takes me down to -6 degrees Celsius. And the orange one will keep me warm down to -12. So look how much they're lofting up already. I don't keep my down bags fully compressed, but they do get squashed down a little bit because they need to fit into the space that I've got really. But ideally, if you can, you're better off not compressing them at all. For long-term storage anyway. I haven't mentioned my closed cell foam pads, so that one's by Big Agnes. It's a Thermarest one. These ones are great from Decathlon, they're only a £5, so well worth looking at if you're on a budget. This box has just got things like some winter trousers. I think we've got stoves in here. This one's probably my favourite box. I've got a few dehydrated meals, well, more than a few. And then here I keep my stoves, a few pots and pans. Not as many as you might think. This one's only about a tenner, so bargain again if you're just starting out. My old favourite, Trangia Spirit Burner. And the one that I use most lately is the Jetboil. It's so convenient and performs really well. Also got a few Nalgene bottles. I keep things like my powdered milk, oil and seasoning etc. in here as well. I've done a video before showing most of these stoves, so I'll link that in the description. It's not as many stoves as you think really. Only fits in a little box. And there's definitely room in there for more. I can't even remember what's in this one. A few odds and sods in this one. So I've got sit pad, some rain gear, so that's my rain trousers, Berghaus ones, and the ULA equipment rain kilt. Hot water bottle for those cold nights, woolly hat, the Trekology chair, so this is great if you want a bit of comfort around camp. However, this one weighs about 1 kilo, so I'm looking for a lighter weight option. And I've not tried this out yet. This is a Life Systems survival shelter. So we'll be giving this a test out up on Kinder Scout when I can get up in the wind and rain. Another box. So on top here, I have my Astucas Cestrals blanket, which is a fully synthetic quilt. If I recall, it's got Climashield Apex 200 insulation, so that'll go down to, yeah it is, that'll go down to around 1 or 2 degrees I think. So why don't I use this as much anymore? Well, the product itself is great, it's just the sizing for me. It isn't quite wide enough for what I wanted, so I ordered the medium one. I should have ordered a wide one. So because I'm a little bit muscular, yeah, I do get little drafty spots with it, and I don't get that with the UGQ Bandit quilts because I've got the wider versions. So if you are thinking of getting a quilt yourself, I would get wider than you think you're going to need. A couple of other bits in here. Hygiene kit. There's a pack cover. Footprint for my Terra Nova tent. Been through most of the things in here. A couple of things I've missed out. So I've got a snug pack, sleeping bag in there. I've got my Hennessy hammock for when I go bushcrafting. I haven't brought my bushcrafting gear over here yet. I've got to try and find a little bit more space in the other side of the cupboard. So other than this down jacket, I don't store any of my outdoor clothing here. So all my trousers and jackets and whatnot are kept at home. And the same goes for my water filters. They're all kept in a little cupboard back at the ranch. But before I finish up, I'll explain why I've got so much kit and why in reality I don't need all of it. So I've got a 4-season tent, a 4-season sleeping bag, and I can fit that and all the rest of my gear into this 48-litre backpack. And I could use that all year round and not really have any issues apart from maybe being a little bit too warm in the summer. So why bother with all the other packs, sleeping bags, tents, etc.? Well, there's a couple of reasons really. First of all, camping is my hobby and I'm always interested to try new gear, see how it performs and see what works best for me. I'm also a YouTuber that makes videos about camping and outdoor gear, so I need to keep the content fresh. I need to keep showing the viewers new bits of kit. There's always going to be new designs, improved technology and materials, so camping gear is going to be always evolving. But that being said, people have been sleeping under improvised shelters for thousands of years, so if you've got some old gear from the 60s or 70s, the chances are it'll still work perfectly fine today, so you can get out and go camping. So for most people, one set of gear is perfectly adequate, as long as you've got a decent shelter that's going to protect you from whatever the situation is. You've got some nice warm sleeping gear, so that is sleeping bag and pad. But the important thing is just getting out and using your gear and enjoying the outdoors. So let me know in the comments below how much gear you've got, and if you want to drop a photo in the Facebook group, it'd be nice to see how everybody else stores their gear. So thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.